Y'all, nobody expected the night to end like this. One minute it was champagne, flashing lights, Super Bowl smiles, and the next, the internet watched a love story collapse in real time. Because the moment Stefon Diggs posted those cozy field photos with a mysterious new boo, VIP passes, family hugs, private circle access, the timeline froze. Screenshots flew. Group chats exploded. Fans whispered one name over and over. Cardi B. But the real shock came seconds later. A cryptic tweet from Nicki Minaj dropped into the chaos like a match into gasoline. No names. No explanations. Just one icy line, and suddenly hashtags were burning, fan pages were digging receipts, and the internet smelled blood. At 1:47 a.m., Cardi went online. Caps lock. Fast replies. Emotional voice notes. I'm not hurt. Stop playing with me. But every post made the silence louder, and the heartbreak more visible. Then came the edits, slow-motion clips of Stefon smiling with the new girl, millions of views in hours, while Nicki's single laughing emoji story floated like a ghost above the drama. No words. Just champagne and speculation. Fans called it karma. Others called it cruel. Some said this was revenge years in the making. And somewhere in the noise, one brutal question echoed louder than everything else. Did Cardi leave one heartbreak just to relive it again? Because this wasn't just a breakup. This was a public unraveling, caught live, shared worldwide, and nobody could look away.
If you will talk to and I'm will play in your face, over and over and over and over and over again, and she'll be like, watch what I'm about to do, watch what I'm about to say. And it's sad that another like to, really like to play games with me when I'm at my most vulnerable time. When I'm not the most confident, they like to play games with me because he knows I'm not an easy girl. And I've really been sparing you. I've really been sparing you. You've been feeling yourself, nigga, because of your album and shit. And you've really been doing me dirty after some years that I'm up yet. Not even a thank you that I got for your. And it's so crazy that I gotta go fucking internet because whenever I tell you something, you don't take it seriously. And I'm so tired of it.
The night didn't start with chaos. It started with celebration, flashing cameras, crowded suites, and the illusion that everything was still perfect. But behind the smiles, something had already cracked. Hours after the final whistle, a quiet post appeared on the feed of Stefon Diggs. No captions, just pictures. Him, standing close to a mysterious woman. VIP badges hanging. Family members smiling beside them. Stadium lights glowing behind their shoulders like a movie scene. At first, nobody reacted. Then someone zoomed in. Then someone noticed who wasn't there. Within minutes, timelines filled with one name, Cardi B. Fans started asking questions. Why wasn't she on the field? Why wasn't she with the family? Why were there rumors she left early, skipped a party, vanished before the night even ended? Nobody knew the answers. But speculation spreads faster than truth. And then came the tweet. A single cryptic message from Nicki Minaj. No tags. No context. Just a cold sentence about upgrades and noise. That was enough. Barb screenshotted it. Fan pages posted comparisons. Old interviews resurfaced. Within an hour, the internet decided a story had begun, whether it was real or not. Because in the world of celebrity rivalries, silence is louder than confession. In private group chats, people started sharing clips of the photos again. They slowed them down frame by frame. They pointed out the way Stefon's mother smiled beside the new girl. They noticed the arm around her shoulder, the comfortable distance, the inside access. To fans watching from their phones, it looked like belonging. And belonging is dangerous when someone else feels replaced. By midnight, rumors were everywhere. That Cardi had left early. That she didn't attend the after-party she allegedly planned. That she went offline, then suddenly came back with emotional tweets. Nothing confirmed. Everything discussed. 1:47 a.m. A tweet appeared. I'm not hurt. Then another. Stop playing with me. Then another, louder. Each message looked like denial. But the more she posted, the more people believed something deeper was wrong. Because social media has a cruel rule. The louder the defense, the louder the suspicion. Within minutes, edits appeared. Slow-motion clips of Stefon smiling with a new woman. Sad music layered on top. Comment sections filled with heartbreak emojis. 5 million views in 2 hours. The algorithm didn't care about feelings. It cared about drama.
Marriage is a privilege. People are married right now and are getting cheated on right now. People get married and have double lives. What are y'all talking about? Y'all think marriage is so, oh my God, what? I'd rather be single than to be married and someone that's cheating cheating on me. Like, y'all have this perspective of life. It's so effed up. People are married right now and are very unhappy. Like, I'd rather be single and explore life than to be married and be miserable and someone is cheating on me. Y'all think, but you're married and get alimony. What the do you think I give a fuck about alimony? I want a faithful husband.
Meanwhile, Nicki stayed quiet. That silence became its own headline. People said she was watching, laughing, celebrating. Others said she was innocent, dragged into drama she never started. Nobody knew the truth. But perception became reality. A single laughing emoji on an Instagram story was enough to ignite another wave of reactions. Fans argued. Communities split. Old rivalries reopened like scars. Because this wasn't just about a relationship. It was about history. About years of competition, comparisons, and headlines that never really ended. Every move looked intentional. Every silence looked strategic. And the internet loved every second. Some fans felt sorry for Cardi. They remembered interviews where she talked about love, loyalty, rebuilding after heartbreak. They remembered promises of peace, of leveling up, of moving forward. Now they watched her name trend beside jokes, memes, and cruel comments. They saw a woman defending herself against rumors she couldn't control. And that's the cruelest part of fame, when strangers write your story faster than you can live it. Late into the night, a short voice clip began circulating. Low quality, emotional tone. No confirmation of where it came from. In the clip, a voice said, "Y'all don't know what happens behind closed doors." That line echoed everywhere. Fans debated its meaning. Was it pain? Anger? Exhaustion? Nobody knew. But millions watched. Millions speculated. Millions shared. Because heartbreak is private until fame makes it public. At the same time, more photos surfaced. Stefon walking beside the new woman. Laughing with friends. Standing under stadium lights. Each picture looked normal. Innocent. But in context, they became symbols of something bigger: replacement, betrayal, humiliation, depending on who you asked. The truth might have been simple, but the story became enormous. News pages started writing headlines. Reaction channels uploaded videos. TikTok edits compared past moments with present photos. People analyzed body language like detectives solving a crime. And somewhere in all that noise, reality disappeared. Because nobody knew what really happened between them. Maybe it was a misunderstanding. Maybe it was timing. Maybe it was nothing at all. But the internet doesn't wait for facts. It creates them. By sunrise, millions had seen the clips. Hashtags trended worldwide. Comment sections turned into battlefields. Fans defended their favorites like soldiers. Nicki fans said it was karma. Cardi fans said it was cruelty. Everyone agreed on one thing. This wasn't just gossip anymore. It was a spectacle. A public unraveling, broadcast live to the world. And as the sun came up, one question stayed in everyone's mind. Would Cardi go live and tell her side? Or would the silence keep screaming louder than words? Because in celebrity culture, stories don't end quietly. They explode, fade, and return again when nobody expects. And this one was only beginning. Morning didn't calm the storm. It sharpened it. When the sun came up, the photos were everywhere. Not just reposted, analyzed, enhanced, zoomed, cropped, compared. Every smile, every glance, every inch of distance between Stefon Diggs and the mysterious woman turned into evidence in a case nobody actually understood. Because the internet doesn't investigate truth. It investigates narratives. By 9 a.m., reaction channels were live. TikTok edits were multiplying. Headlines asked the same question in different ways. Was Cardi B blindsided? Nobody had proof. But proof isn't required when drama is trending. Behind the scenes, fans started noticing something else. Silence. No clear statement. No official response. Just scattered tweets, emotional reactions, and cryptic posts that looked like pieces of a broken mirror. Each fragment reflected a different story depending on who looked at it. Then someone resurfaced an old interview where Cardi talked about loyalty, about trust, about wanting peace after chaos. The clip spread like wildfire, layered beside fresh photos of Stefon smiling with someone new. The contrast hurt more than the rumor. Because memories are louder than facts. At noon, another cryptic message appeared online, rumored to be from Nicki Minaj. No confirmation, just speculation. A single line about karma keeping receipts. Fan pages exploded. Barbs defended it as harmless. Others called it shade. Some said it was coincidence. But in a rivalry built on years of comparison, coincidence feels impossible. The internet chose its interpretation and ran with it. Meanwhile, new angles of the stadium footage appeared. Someone caught Stefon laughing with his family. Someone else noticed the mysterious woman standing comfortably beside his mother. Another clip showed them walking through a private tunnel with security escorting them. To fans watching, it looked intimate, familiar, established. And that image hurt more than words. Because public happiness feels like private rejection when your name isn't there. Late afternoon, a rumor started spreading that Cardi had canceled appearances. Another said she was crying with friends. Another claimed she was planning a live stream to tell everything. None confirmed, all shared. Because tragedy grows faster when it's imagined. Comment sections filled with people telling stories about their own heartbreaks, their own betrayals, their own regrets. Suddenly, a celebrity rumor became a mirror for millions of strangers. And in that reflection, nobody cared what was real anymore. They cared what felt true. Then came the edits. One video cut together happy old moments of Cardi laughing, then faded into slow-motion clips of Stefon with the new woman. Sad piano music played underneath. Text appeared on screen. From fairy tale to silence. 10 million views overnight.
Just because I ain't my baby daddy doesn't mean you get to talk about my baby daddy.
Another video compared past headlines about love and loyalty with today's photos. Comments filled with crying emojis, broken hearts, and accusations. Because social media loves a fall from grace. Through all of it, Nicki stayed mostly quiet. And that quietness became the loudest sound. People said she was watching. Others said she didn't care. Some insisted she was innocent. But every hour without a denial made the story darker. Because absence invites imagination. And imagination writes cruel endings. By evening, the narrative was set. Some believed Cardi was betrayed. Others believed she ignored red flags. Some said the rivalry was fueling everything. Nobody agreed on details. Everyone agreed on drama. That's when an old fan clip resurfaced, Cardi smiling in a stadium months earlier, standing beside Stefon, looking proud and happy. The video ended with a freeze frame. Caption: "Look how fast things change." It spread everywhere. Because heartbreak is relatable, even when it belongs to strangers. Night fell again. A new rumor appeared that Cardi might speak. That she might go live. That she might tell the truth behind the photos, behind the tweets, behind the silence. Fans waited. Refresh. 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 Nothing happened. And, sometimes, nothing is louder than everything. Because the real tragedy wasn't the breakup rumor. It was the public watching, judging, laughing, choosing sides, while two people lived something private. Fame turned whispers into headlines. Algorithms turned pain into content. And in that machine, emotions became entertainment. Near midnight, another post appeared on Stefon's account. A normal post. Nothing dramatic. No comments about relationships. Just football. But comments flooded anyway. People demanded answers. People blamed him. People blamed Cardi. People blamed Nicki. Nobody asked for truth. They asked for closure. But closure doesn't exist on social media. Because once a story starts trending, it doesn't end. It mutates. It grows. It returns months later with new angles, new rumors, new edits. And this story had everything: rivalry, heartbreak, mystery, silence. The perfect storm. So now the world waits. Will Cardi finally speak? Will Nicki address the rumors? Will Stefon explain the photos? Or will the truth stay buried under millions of opinions? Because sometimes the loudest drama isn't what celebrities say. It's what the world imagines while watching them. And as the clock passed midnight again, one thing became clear. This wasn't just gossip. It was a reminder of how fast love turns into headlines, how quickly silence becomes accusation, and how fame can make heartbreak feel like a public trial. The story isn't over. It never really is. By the third night, the noise felt different. Not louder. Heavier. Because once shock fades, curiosity turns into obsession. People weren't just watching anymore, they were digging. Old interviews resurfaced. Archived tweets appeared. Clips from red carpets, podcasts, backstage videos, all stitched together into a timeline nobody could fully prove. The story had stopped being about what happened. It became about what might have happened. And in that shadow, three names stayed at the center: Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, and Stefon Diggs. Late that evening, a rumor spread that Cardi had recorded a private message for friends. Nobody confirmed it, but someone posted a blurry screenshot claiming it existed. Within minutes, millions had seen it. The message supposedly said she felt tired of proving herself. That line alone sent shockwaves. Melody becomes background noise. Nicki's name trended again that morning after a fan account claimed she liked a shady comment. Nobody knew if it was true, but millions believed it. Screenshots spread. Hashtags exploded. People wrote essays analyzing one possible tap of a heart icon. In a digital world, a single click can feel like a statement. By the fourth day, exhaustion replaced shock. Fans started asking deeper questions. Why do we watch heartbreak like entertainment? Why does silence feel like guilt? Why do strangers demand explanations from people they don't know? But those questions were quieter than the drama. Because controversy always wins the algorithm. Some fans wrote messages telling Cardi to stay strong. Others told Nicki to ignore rumors. Some defended Stefon completely. In the middle of it all, truth remained invisible. Maybe nothing dramatic happened. Maybe everything did. But the world would never know, because speculation had already replaced facts. And that's the cruelest part of fame. When private pain becomes public theory. When a smile in one photo becomes betrayal in another. When silence becomes guilt. When tweets become evidence. When strangers write endings to stories they never lived. Late that night, one final rumor spread that Cardi would speak at midnight. People waited. Refresh. 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 Midnight passed. No live stream. No statement. No explanation. Only silence. And that silence felt like the loudest chapter yet. Because sometimes, the truth doesn't arrive dramatically. It fades quietly while the world argues over shadows. So now the story hangs unfinished. Will Cardi break her silence? Will Nicki address the whispers? Will Stefon ever explain the photos? Or will this remain another mystery, replayed in edits, debates, and headlines for years? Because celebrity culture never forgets. It archives every smile, every tweet, every rumor. And one day, when nobody expects, the story returns again. New clips, new theories, new emotions, same unanswered questions. Because in the end, the real tragedy isn't a breakup rumor. It's how millions watch, judge, and decide without ever knowing the truth. And somewhere behind the headlines, 3 people live their lives while the world writes their story. The screen goes dark, the music fades, but the curiosity stays, waiting for the next post. And now the timeline is holding its breath, waiting for the moment one post, one live stream, one leaked message flips this whole story.